work at your house and you're not satisfied, but you can't find good help? Well, look no further. Quicklink Construction is a licensed general construction company that's fully insured for the 5 boroughs and Westchester. A one-stop construction company that will cater to your needs. Experience is what counts in this business, and we have the experience for more than 35 years. So if you need a paint job, call us. If the roof is talking to you, call us. If your garage won't open, call us. If you need a new paint job, call us. If you try to do the work yourself and your wife won't talk to you, call us. 914-665-0106. Quicklink Construction. No job too big, no job too small. Just call us. 914-665-0106. 914-665-0106. We have the experience. Quicklink Construction.
To Cooler Runnings Restaurant, located at 1802 Nereid Avenue, corner of Wickham Avenue in the Bronx. We specialize in the best Jamaican and American cuisine, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We offer free in-house delivery, minimum $20 purchase, and we also have Uber Eats. We do barbecue Thursdays, fish fry Fridays, and seafood Saturdays. For more information, give us a call for our address and menu, 718-324-7484. Once again, that's 718-324-7484. Cooler Runnings Restaurant, simply the best Jamaican food.
Well, it is a Monday afternoon. It is Memorial Day. It is the 5th Monday, May 31, 2021. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? How are you? How are you? Have you been resting? Have you been working? Are you entertaining? maintaining your social distance. But it's a good day. What a beautiful day we're having here this beautiful Monday on Memorial Day. Oh my goodness. We have been washed out for a few days, but we are back. And it is so nice outside. I personally have not been able to experience it so much because I'm off today. But you know, I have to come in to work nevertheless. And you're here to keep my company until 7 o'clock. Monday, 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 Monday. You know how we do. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside on Inside the Zone, the community platform where information is guaranteed with Lady D, Denise Gomez. That's me. I'm your host, I'm your producer and presenter. Thank you for joining me. The Monday Drive is brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Narita Avenue in the Bronx. Have you heard about my hashtags? ITZ, The Monday Drive, hashtag host Lady D, hashtag ITZ Radio, hashtag music, hashtag entertainment, hashtag news, hashtag food, hashtag interviews, hashtag ITZ Community Life. I'm in a good mood. It is a good day. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm grateful. Email me at insidethezone@gmail.com. Send me your comments. I'd like to talk with you. My Facebook page is Lady D Denise Gomez and Inside the Zone. I'm also on Instagram, Lady D Denise Gomez. In this afternoon's edition of the Monday Drive, the Monday Beat, chasing the Monday blues out of here with great music. And guess what? It's Collab Music Monday. Collaborations between the artists. Voices, the intellectual voice that has everyone talking. I have a spin this afternoon. You'll be hearing my voice, my take. And you know what it's all about? My take this afternoon, whole dog. Many Jamaicans were raised in communities where dogs were a part of households. The bad dogs were often chained but stationed at entrances as a warning to unwelcome guests whose mission was to either harm or steal from the household residents. But what about dogs that are left without any kind of restraint, knowing full well, said a dog them well bad? I have a take on that. More music on a Monday afternoon. A Jamaica Ting this afternoon, Culinary Trails, Jamaica's original fast food franchise. Ever been to Highland Grill in Jamaica? Keeping you in the know, news, happenings, and facts. And in community life this afternoon, should Jamaica abolish present height requirements to attract men and women to join the security forces in light of escalating crime wave and the call for increased security personnel within the Jamaica Constabulary Force? Height has always been a major requirement. We'll be talking about that this afternoon. And of course, you know, I have to just say hi, hi, hi. My connecting partners on a Monday afternoon. Spice International Gospel Network, Sign FM 88.9, Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, www.caribbeanvibesradio.com, and Unity Gospel Radio out of Sunrise, Florida. UnityGospelRadio.com. Hello, DJ Solomon. 21 minutes after 5 o'clock. I need to get into some music, but you always have to hang in there with me because I have to give you my introduction and all of that, so you know what the show is all about. I do have a great show lined up for you this evening, and I just love coming to the station to spend time with you until 7 p.m. This is Linkage Radio, your budding and buzzing station, 24/7, 365 days for the year. I coined that several years ago. 22 minutes after 5 o'clock. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Mondays are always great days here on Inside the Zone. Don't forget, at 6 o'clock, we take you over to keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts and community life. It's now time for my collab segment, Collab Music Monday. Who am I collaborating with, first of all? Let's get the show on the road, shall we?
Speak to my baby girl with the sexy little attitude. Hot it up because you know so that you really rude. Steam it up because you know you got me in the mood. Shana Fall, Estelle.
If I was to tell you just how much I need you, would you come tonight? Or would you not believe me? Cause a love that easy never turns out right. I'm trying to change the rules. You deserve something good in your life. We waited for far too long, so come get your blessings tonight. Baby, won't you come over, love, so I can show you love.
Straight away.
Promise I got enough to give you all that you need.
Bang, 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 bang.
So many search to find love that's as good as mine.
It's a sign.
I will waste your time, so bring it all to
Estelle,
me,
alright.
baby.
Girl, I've been waiting for the longest time just to run, come and give it his love. Yeah, yeah. Girl, you know that you've been on my mind. Can't sleep at night and such. Baby girl, now that you have shown me the sign for press gas and don't bother with the clutch. Hear me, girl, I'm gonna give you loving all night long, so strong that you won't forget my touch. Baby girl,
Baby, let me teach you, give you love instruction, show you what I know. We should take it easy, ain't no need to rush, no, baby, nice and slow. All this love I can give to you, I expect just a bit in return. You don't have to be perfect, love, as long as you're willing to learn. Baby, won't you come over, love,
baby girl,
so I can show you love.
show me, girl.
Promise I got enough to give you all that you need, baby. So many search to find love that's as good as mine.
Baby.
I will waste your time, so bring it all to me.
So let me tell you that
baby.
my adrenaline is pumping. I'm thinking of a one thing between you and me. You see me, girl, the pace is too fast for you, baby. Then we can't take it more slowly. It's your world, I'll take you to the top. I never drop you, never flop you. When I'm away, man, I forgot you. Girl, my love is coming at you. I'll be happy when we really catch you. So what you wanna do, girl?
Turn down the lights, give you all of my love tonight. Let's do what lovers do. Oh, I'm ready for you. Don't wanna waste my time, so don't make me beg tonight. And don't keep me waiting for love.
Never, never, never,
Won't you
girl.
come over, love? Won't you come over, love, so I can show you love. Promise I got enough to give you all that you need.
I know you got it, girlfriend.
So many search to find love that's as good as mine. I will waste your time, so bring it all
Straight,
to me,
straight, lovely
baby.
girlfriend.
Ooh,
Straight, lovely girl, yeah.
Ooh,
25 minutes after 5 o'clock. It's Collab Monday. The Monday Drive,
Bada bang, 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 bang.
keeping you in the know. In the city you walk, drive, and reside.
Well, this one happened to them. I'm gonna tell them again, hey baby.
Now what shall I do? You confess to me that you feel the same way too, girl. John, come forth and rock our world.
I guess I'm not over you like I thought I was. Guess I was fooling myself, 'cause I'm still in love.
It's my collab Monday.
With you, woman.
Bojo and John Legend. Good afternoon, everyone. 5:30 p.m. Time signal brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Narita Avenue in the Bronx.
Thoughts of you with another man. I'm losing my lady. So sad I am. I guess I'm not over you like I thought I was. I guess I was fooling myself.
time. A life without your love ain't working out fine. Perception and reality clearly defined. I bet you never know the love me have in my heart. We made simple mistakes tear us apart, forgetting where we're coming from and how it all starts. Using harsh words, bitter arrows and sparks. We living on this same house and we not talk. We used to be and now we totally off. Oh, I wish this was never our past. Oh, there is no love lost, no God.
Even when I try to myself, the things I say wasn't meant to be this way. Love is not a game to play. Yes, we went our separate ways by the memories. Even when I try to myself, the things I say wasn't meant to be this way. Love is not a game to play. Yes, we went our separate ways by the memories.
Over many moons since we part, but our memories remain with the love in my heart. Hear not how many friendships I start. This part where you touch still tender and soft. To be honest, I do miss the fires and sparks, but I'm gonna live on the rooftop or somewhere in a park. Now when did we mess up? Realize the blame. She left me a message explaining her pain. She said, I've tried, even avoid surrounding distractions and outside nice, but we both made mistakes and we both lied. Oh, and now here we are.
Even when I try to myself, the things I say wasn't meant to be this way. Love is not a game to play. Yes, we went our separate ways by the memories. Even when I try to myself, the things I say wasn't meant to be this way. Love is not a game to play. Yes, we went our separate ways by the memories.
Ah, what better way to have started off the Monday afternoon for Memorial Day? The Monday Beat Collab Music Monday. You heard selections from Estelle Kamova featuring Sean Paul, Jack Cure and Maya Only You, and Buju Banton and John Legend. Memories, looks, music, 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 just for you. My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez. Welcome, everyone. Our telephone number to the Linkage radio station is 914-600-4228. That is 914-600-4228. I'd like to stop by the YouTube channel to say good afternoon to, let me see who is here. I want to say hi to Ryan. Hey, Ryan, thank you. Hi, hi. And to Princess. And Angie was there and somebody else. They're coming in. So good afternoon to you. And you're listening to Inside the Zone. Today is the Monday Drive featuring keeping you in the know, rather. Keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. 5:35 p.m. time signal brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Narita Avenue in the Bronx. I did say to you that there is a spin this afternoon for voices. You're listening to my voice this afternoon. I'm the intellectual voice that you will be hearing this afternoon. And my take is hold dog. Many Jamaicans were raised in communities where dogs were a part of households. The bad dogs were often chained but stationed at entrances as a warning to unwelcome guests whose mission was to either harm or steal from the household residents. But what about dogs that are left without any kind of restraint, knowing full well, say, them dog well bad? You know why I came up with this? It's not the first time we're dealing with aggressive animals and so on the show. However, I do my power walk runs. I started a few weeks ago because I had hurt my foot last year, and so I had to sit out. So one morning last week, I wrapped up my walk where I do the walk, and I was walking on an avenue. I said, let me not walk on my avenue to go home. Let me walk on another avenue, because that avenue has somewhat of a hilly terrain, so it's good for the muscles when I'm going up. So I saw two young men approaching me, and I was passing them. I said morning to them, and I was passing, and they said to me, "Miss, don't walk there because there is a bad dog up there and the gate open." But he said, "You can walk on the opposite side." So I said, "Okay, let me walk on the opposite side." And then a sixth sense says, "Denise, don't walk on no opposite side. Walk another way." Because in my head, I'm like, you never know what triggers an animal. And though I'm on the opposite side, because they actually passed the gate, but the dog was kind of, barking and carrying on. And then I remembered as I was walking. So I passed them and I said to them, "You know what? I'm not going to walk there. Let me stick to where I know." And they said, "Okay." And one of them, because they were going to work and they were about to go into their vehicles, and one of them said, "And the same dog chased my wife last week." So I'm listening and I'm like, and the gate was still opened. That I drew that conclusion, which obviously so. And I said, how can you know that you have an animal that could possibly hurt someone and you still have your gate unlocked and the animal is just busy barking and carrying on? Because when I was growing up, the bad dogs in my community, they were chained close to the gate. But they didn't have them just randomly running out at people. The dogs that we, refer to as the mongrels, you find some little maga legs, some little ones who would run out at you, but you just say to them, "Move, dog," or what have you, and they just find back their places. But before that, once you're coming to somebody's gate, the first thing you cry out, "Hold, dog," because you know that they have an animal and they're not like house pets as we have them here in this country. They're not no house pet. We don't know nothing about house pet until recent times when people are really becoming a little more conscious of how you treat animals and so on. But for most of us, dog out a door, and if they once passing through your living room or your hall, you dark them out because they don't belong there. And so I'm saying to myself, when people are moving around in their communities and you want to go for your walk, early morning walk or run, can you imagine even a senior who would possibly be walking just slowly, maybe with a cane or something, unknowingly to them that they have a dog who is going to chase them? But what I should have done was to ask them to show me exactly where so I could mark the gate and could take care of it. Because sooner or later, they're gonna get themselves into problems, because nobody will be able to cry out, "Whole dog," in this instance. So while you're moving around, if you're like me and you go out in the mornings and you're running, walking, what have you, just pay attention, because sometimes all the gates are wide open. People have driven through them or they walk through them. They leave their gates open and you don't know what is going to hit you at any time. So be careful out there. But when in doubt, cry out, "Whole dog." Just saying. As a matter of fact, you heard the dogs barking a while ago, right? But hear what? I came across this clip and I said I have to use it. But in addition, Here is an electronic gate. Dogs on either side. The dogs belonging to the owner of the gate, and then the passers-by who decide to go and bark at each other. And they're barking and carrying on like they want to get inside of the place, And then all of a sudden, the gate is opened. And the two sets of dogs just gone about their business. Nobody trying to get in anymore. I'm like, what is that? The gate open and the intruders, they just walk away. And the dog's owners, they too just like they went to the back of the house. So you say, what is that? Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. That was my take for voices this afternoon, the intellectual voice that has everyone talking. That was me. It is a Monday. Don't forget, coming up at 6 p.m., we have Keeping You in the Know with News, Happenings, and Facts. Chris joins me then at 6:15, 6:20, thereabout. We get into community life. Should Jamaica abolish the present height requirement to attract men and women to join the security forces in light of the escalating crime wave and the call for increased security personnel within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF? What is your take? Chris has a backstory to share with you, and we'll be getting into that conversation. So stay with me. Believe you me, 7 o'clock is a distance away. You have a lot of time to keep my company until then. More music. It's Collab Monday. Did I tell you? Collab Music Monday. Don't forget, 914-600-4228. 914-600-4228. That is the number to call me here in the Linkage Radio Station. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere.
Every enemy in your life.
When you are hungry, come to Cooler Runnings Restaurant. Located at 1802 Nerid Avenue, corner of Wickham Avenue in the Bronx, we specialize in the best Jamaican and American cuisine, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We offer free in-house delivery, minimum $20 purchase, and we also have Uber Eats. We do barbecue Thursdays, fish fry Fridays, and seafood Saturdays. For more information, give us a call for our address and menu, 718-324-7484. Once again, that's 718-324-7484. Cooler Runnings Restaurant, simply the best Jamaican food.
Welcome back, everyone. What time is it? 5:44 p.m. You know my show is based on time, don't you? It's my Collab Monday, 914-600-4228. Want to say hi to Hortense, Princess. I know her from I was a child. She says, you brought out a very important point about the seniors. What if those owners are so inconsiderate? You can say that again. And if they don't do something about it, they're going to have to pay dearly. They're going to have to pay because people not playing that with no dog. 5:45 p.m. Welcome. More music for you. It's Collab Music Monday.
Am I really here in your arms? Just like I dreamed it would be. I feel like we're frozen in time. You're the only one
Music on a Monday afternoon. Princess says I have her rocking. That's a good thing. Music does that, and that's what I like to provide here on the show. Log on to my YouTube channel, Inside the Zone with Lady D. Inside the Zone with Lady D. Log on and you'll get so much more that you're missing out on. Those of you who are just coming into the room, you don't know what you're missing. Some great music passed you by. How could you let that happen to you? Once I go live at 5:15, pretty much at 5:15, my voice hits the airwaves. So if you missed out on the great music, hey Apache, good evening to you. If you missed out on the good music, what am I going to do with you now? Tell me, what do I do with you? As you know, it is Memorial Day, and I do have some quick, fast facts for you on Memorial Day. Number one, 45 million veterans have served the country in wartime. Number two, 260,000 graves at Arlington National Cemetery are adorned with American flags each Memorial Day. Number three, 818 hot dogs are consumed every second from Memorial Day to Labor Day. 7 billion total. Of mercy. Number four, 96% of companies will close their offices on Memorial Day. Yeah. Number five, 42.8 million Americans plan to travel over Memorial Day weekend, with Orlando being the number one most popular destination. Number six, 1.5 million people will watch the National Memorial Day Parade on TV. Number seven, $486 is the average spending over Memorial Day weekend. 8, 25% more home cooking fires happen on Memorial Day than average. Number 9, 45.5% of Americans are likely to take advantage of Memorial Day deals. Number 10, there are 40 plus freebies and special discounts available to veterans and military personnel. To all those who have served and they have given their lives, to service, I tell you, it's not easy when families have relatives who have to be deployed and so on, and those who have, passed on, and you see their representatives show up at your door. Usually there is a very heartbreaking moment when they have to be told that they got hurt and they succumbed to their injuries. So we have to remember them today, and those who are still working, and that's what they signed up for, and they know it. But each time they go out to battle, or go out facing the dangers, they know that today may be their last day, and that's the truth. So when they return home and they're safe, that's why their families hold them so dear, because they could not have come home, So I would like to, I'd just like to say hi to everyone. Today, hail up to my Chris Wilby. Want to say hi to everybody this afternoon, taking you, of course, into more scoop, a Jamaica ting, food, sweet, so let me take you to my culinary journey. But before I do that, because I'm taking you to Yard, I'm Jamaican, by the way, just in case you all didn't know. Yeah, I'm Jamaican. I was born in Kingston and I went to Clarendon, Jamaica, when I was 7. What a ride it has been. I love my yard. Sure. Hello, everybody.
It's a land of special people, a place where champions grow, a magical vibe, so much more than you will ever know. You can't ignore the music, reggae so profound, and when it comes to the track, you know that Jamaica Jamaica won't back down.
On top of the world,
We're more than just an island in the sun. A great nation, my mind is saying, welcome everyone to Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Come experience the culture. We do it like no other. Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Come seek the island's treasure. Welcome to Jamaica. Don't you ever forget that we're coming from afar. But now we've climbed to the top. Oh my God, so proud of who we are. No, 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 nobody can shake us. No, 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 nobody can break us. We're rooted and grounded, protected by God. Heaven knows we
I'm just hurting up your head. I'm sure of that you feel like, oh my God, she's just playing that song and I wish I was in my yard right now. Meaning Jamaica. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Jamaica food sweet, wouldn't you say? I believe so, especially when it cook really, really good. There are people who their hands seem to just have been seasoned the right way to cook food. You ever just taste some people cooking and you say, but I cook that and it don't taste so. But I know you want to try some traditional Jamaican food, and so I'd like to share some with you. Now, jerk chicken, as we know, is the most traditional food from Jamaica. And if you're a foodie, this is one of the must-try dishes. It's characterized by the famous jerk spice, which is a special combo made from mixing cinnamon, cloves, ginger, thyme, garlic, pepper, and nutmeg. And it is sold by street vendors most Fridays in Jamaica. People just go buy their pan jerk, pork, chicken, what have you. It's almost like you're saying, oh, you know what, Friday, tomorrow for you, because I ain't cooking. I grew up eating my dinner. I was raised Monday to Friday. We ate food. When I first went out on my own, trying now to make life by myself, and I shared a house with a friend and her mom, family. And I came home the Friday and I went straight to the kitchen. I'm like in my maybe I was about 20, I think, 20. And I headed straight to the kitchen. And I'm like, they didn't cook. I was in such shock. I went and put on pot and cook a little something. Seriously, I was not raised eating, just any old thing. I knew food. So when they told me, no, they don't cook on Friday. But, I went back to Kingston at that point. So you got back into the groove of things. It's like when you come to foreign, all of a sudden you have to just get with the program. So I had to get with the program, And so I got over that. But man, that was a shocker for me, because I always knew about cooking in my house. Now, jerk chicken is sold by street vendors, as we know, right? As well as mid-range restaurants and high-end restaurants. It's delicious and a great snack after a few hours on the beach, or even better while you're at the beach sipping on some refreshing Jamaican drinks. What Jamaican drink comes to mind? And don't tell me ginger beer. You think of ting, something like that. Curried goat. Another popular food from Jamaica is curried goat. This is the heritage of the Indian population in Jamaica after they came to work in the plantations after slavery was abolished. The Indians brought their curry with them, and today you can enjoy curried goat, mutton, or chicken at many local restaurants. Lox food, ackee and salt fish. Please don't beat out the ackee till you can spread it like butter. I stopped eating ackee for a long time because somebody used to cook ackee, and I'm telling you that I know they wanted it to stretch, but have mercy, I could paste it on the bread. I stopped eating it. I like my ackee whole, and I don't like it mashed with at all. Ackee and saltfish is the national food of Jamaica and a must-try along with jerk chicken. Some people don't like it, while others love it. The ackee is a sort of Jamaican fruit that came here from Ghana in the 18th century. Yes, it's from Africa. I had discovered that. The locals absolutely love ackee, and it grows everywhere. It's a favorite Jamaican food among tourists too, and the ackee and saltfish is usually cooked up in a pot with tomato, onion, and spices. You can get this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Anytime is ackee and saltfish time in Jamaica. Who can do a good fried dumpling out there? And I'm not talking now about holding the dumpling and it just fall apart, break up like when you get the biscuit from Kentucky. That's not the fried dumpling I'm talking about. 1 minute to go for keeping you in the know. Callaloo. This is quite similar to spinach. Somebody had told me that no matter how they try to cook callaloo, it always bitter. I'm like, what you doing wrong? This is quite similar to spinach, and it's a leafy green plant, dark green plant, which is often eaten for breakfast in Jamaica. It can also be served as a side dish. Yes, I love that. Rundown, not my favorite at all, but it might just be yours. This fish stew might have an unusual name, but the flavor is amazing, where either cod or mackerel is cooked in coconut milk with onions, tomatoes, and garlic until it gets a thick texture. I'm not a fan. Rundown is one of the traditional foods from Jamaica that most Jamaicans miss. Will they travel abroad or when living overseas? Oh, okay. The dish is usually served with either nice rice or dumplings with boiled bananas. And the reason for its name is because the fish is cooked until it's more or less falls apart. Yes, so they spread it all over the codfish there. Yummy yum. Escovitch fish. This is one of many Jamaican dishes that include fish, usually red snapper, which is being fried and served with vegetables. The origins of escovitch fish comes from the Spanish Jews. You didn't know all of that, did you? And I could go on and on and on, but let me take you back to We are indeed special people, wouldn't you say? It's a Monday drive, keeping you in the know. In the city you walk, drive, and reside. I got a little bit for you. I got a little for you. And a little for you. You can't say you listen to the show and you're like, Lord, because there's something for you.
We're more than just an island in the sun. A great nation, my mind is saying, welcome everyone to Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Come experience the culture. We do it like no other. Jamaica, sweet Jamaica. Come see.
2 minutes after 6 o'clock, I welcome Chris Wilby to the airwaves of Linkage Radio on a Monday, Memorial Day.
I'm not going to say Happy Memorial Day because I don't want to get into trouble.
Okay.
Good afternoon to you, Lady B.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to all the listeners.
How
How
is
are you?
it? How is it going over there? I'm here talking about food.
Me hear you. I kind of tune out whenever you start talking about food, because you make me hungry. So whenever I hear you start talking about the food thing and all them delicious food across Jamaica and all of them, so I just say, sure. And just,
You should
you're
just...
making me hungry. And being a fat guy, I can't make the food thing get to my brain. You know what I mean? So,
Fat,
yeah?
being a fat guy.
Yeah.
What is that? Ladies and
You don't
gentlemen,
know, you don't know
Chris
you don't know fat
Wilby is
people.
not fat. Go away.
Huh?
You're not fat. What are you talking about?
I'm not fat. Me think me not fat. You don't know. I just assume that I'm a little short fat guy.
Oh,
So,
dear.
I don't know.
Oh dear. Locks. All right then. My cousin is watching me from London. Hey Marlo. Good day. So I heard up
Good
every.
afternoon to London.
Yes, you know what time it
Or
is
is it good
now?
night?
Yeah, it's late. Marlo must be up doing something. Marlo, I loved your little
Yeah.
video that you put out. Good afternoon and good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are. Hi everyone. DJ Apache say I'm making him what hungry or something like that. Never mind. And when I read it, I read for emphasis, and I gesticulate to send the message across. That food sweets. 4 minutes after 6 o'clock, it's Memorial Day, and the show is on the road, and we're ready to start off. It's a pleasure always having you. I saw Chris Wilby send me a note. Semepari. I'm like, I haven't even heard that. Chris.
It's a long time, you know, hear that. That's true.
Chris called me his pari. I said, what? I've heard that in moons.
I'm a pirate, man.
I'm telling you, yes, we are Paris indeed. Lord. 4 minutes now after 6 o'clock. Good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Inside the Zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez. It is a Monday drive today, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. And right now, we are about to start off keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts. Brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Welcome, everyone. Our telephone number is 914-600-4228. 914-600-4228. Keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts. It is 6 minutes after 6 o'clock. Chris Wilby brings the first headline for the day.
Good afternoon again to you, Lady D. Good afternoon to all the listeners of the different networks. We start off this evening with news coming out of Washington. Nikki Haley called VP Kamala Harris unprofessional and unfit for telling people to enjoy the long weekend. Nikki Haley, the former South Carolina governor, criticized Vice President Kamala Harris on Sunday. Harris' tweet saying, "Enjoy the long weekend," prompted Haley to call her unprofessional and unfit. Harris shared a tweet on Saturday with a photo of herself and the message, "Enjoy the long weekend." Haley, who served as President Donald Trump's ambassador to the United Nations, retweeted it on Sunday afternoon and wrote, "Unprofessional and unfit." It wasn't clear exactly what Haley didn't like about the tweet, but some Twitter users expressed disapproval that Harris had tweeted about the long weekend instead of Memorial Day is about. Memorial Day takes place on the last Monday of May to honor and mourn United States military personnel who died in the line of duty. Harris tweeted on Sunday morning, hours before Haley's criticism about the meaning of the national holiday. She said, "Throughout our history, our servicemen and women have risked everything to defend our freedoms and our country. As we prepare to honor them on Memorial Day, we remember their service and their sacrifice." For her part, Haley had not tweeted about Memorial Day as of Sunday night. Haley, a Republican, is widely thought to be a likely 2024 presidential candidate. She said that if Trump were to run, she would support him, despite criticizing him after the Capitol riot. He went down a path he shouldn't have, and we shouldn't have followed him, and we shouldn't have listened to him, she told Politico in February, and we can't let that ever happen again. Lady D?
The 154th Brooklyn Memorial Day Parade is known for being the longest running city parade in the country. Starting in Brooklyn shortly after the Civil War, the parade aims to mourn and pay tribute to fallen soldiers. The parade usually draws large crowds to the streets of Bay Ridge, but this year, due to the pandemic, the tradition is continuing as a motorcade driving through the neighborhood. The motorcade traveled past the corner of 3rd Avenue and 75th Street before stopping at the VA hospital. It then moved on to a memorial service by Fort Hamilton at John Paul Jones Park. Quote, "Part of coming out for me is part of my healing. I'm able to express myself on behalf of those who can't be with us," unquote, says veteran Danny Friedman. Last year, the motorcade looked very different because of COVID-19, and only one person was allowed at the memorial ceremony. Over the weekend, members of the United Military Veterans of Kings County set up a tent and a stage in preparation for the event. Quote, "This year we have a tent set up over there. We invited a bunch of people and we're going to have a full-blown ceremony," unquote, says Raymond Alba, Brooklyn Memorial Day Parade Committee Chairman.
President Joe Biden commemorated those who died serving in the military in Memorial Day remarks at Arlington National Cemetery and urged Americans to honor the fallen by strengthening and protecting the nation's democracy. He said, "Democracy itself is in peril, here at home and around the world. What we do now, how we honor the memory of the fallen, will determine whether or not democracy will long endure." The president said, "We owe the honored dead a debt we can never fully repay. We owe them our whole souls. We owe them our full best efforts to perfect the union for which they died." Biden said the nation must honor the sacrifices of generations of service members by sustaining the best of America while honestly confronting all that we must do to make our nation fuller, freer, and more just. "Empathy is the fuel of democracy," the president said. "Our willingness to see each other not as enemies, neighbors, even when we disagree, to understand what the other is going through." He spoke of the rising wave of autocratic rule across the world and urged, as he often does, that liberation, opportunity, justice are far more likely to come to pass in a democracy than an autocracy. This nation was built on an idea, the only nation in the world built on an idea. Every other nation is built on ethnicity, geography, religion, etc., etc. We were built on an idea, the idea of liberty and opportunity for all. He continued, "We have never fully realized that aspiration of our founding, but every generation has opened the door a little wider, and every generation has opened it wider and wider to be more inclusive." Biden said the diversity of the nation and its armed forces has been an incredible strength, and noted Americans of all backgrounds, races, identities, and sexual orientations have sacrificed their lives to defend the nation's democracy. He said, "Remember their sacrifice, their valor, and their grace. Remember their smiles, their loves, their laughter, their essential, vibrant, and transcendent humanity." The president spoke about the death of his own son, Beau Biden, who was an Iraq War veteran. Sunday marked the 6th anniversary of Beau Biden's death. He said, "To those who mourn a loved one today, Jill and I have some idea how you're feeling. Our losses are not the same, but the black hole you feel in your chest, as if it's going to suck you into it, we get it," Biden said. He said the anniversary of his son's death is a difficult time of year for him and his family, and that he always feels close to his son on Memorial Day.
24-year-old Ronaldo McFarlane of Longwood District in Hanover died from injuries he received after being electrocuted at his home in the parish. The police reported that at about 11:25 a.m. on Saturday, McFarlane was attempting to change a light bulb when he came in contact with an high tension wires and was electrocuted. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, McFarlane's body was seen with severe burns. He was transported to hospital where his death was confirmed. The Lucy Fire Brigade was also summoned to extinguish the flames on the wires.
Prior to last Thursday's walkthrough by the security forces, political representatives, and others in the community of Comfort, the area was not living up to its name following two shooting incidents, one of which was a murder. Located in the Royal Flat Division of the Manchester Central constituency, Comfort has been on edge since 43-year-old mechanic Sean Price was gunned down at his home in a section of the community known as Lancewood. Price was at his house on Saturday, May 22nd, about 11:30 p.m. when he was killed, 2 days after another man was shot and injured in another section of the community. Police believe the incidents are related and that they are due to fallout among criminals. We are here on an intervention operation with stakeholders because things are not what they ought to be in the community of Comfort. It seems like it is going counter to that. Recently, there were two incidents in the community. Manchester Police Chief Superintendent Gary Francis told a journalist last week. We are hearing that there are plans by this grouping that is having this conflict. They were once friends and they have some dispute. As a result of that, they are resolving it in a violent way. We understand that people are called from outside the parish to come to join the conflict, he said. In a show of high-powered strength, the police and the military have maintained a strong presence in the area, and even the Jamaica Defence Force, Thales Bushmire armored military unit patrolling the community. Manchester Central Member of Parliament Rhoda Crawford and Councillor for the Royal Flat Division, Donovan Mitchell, who is also the mayor of Mandeville, joined the tour described as a social intervention alongside the security forces, church groups, justices of the peace, and other targeting the restoration of peace.
Andrea Gordon, the former National Commercial Bank senior manager accused of fleecing the entity of $34 million over 3 years, was this morning sentenced to just under 8 years in prison following a detailed sentencing exercise. This due to the fact that the varying sentences for the banker, who pleaded guilty to all 13 counts on which she was charged, will run concurrently. Gordon, on April 29, pleaded guilty to 13 counts on an indictment charging her with 3 counts of larceny as a servant, 3 counts of cybercrimes, and 7 counts of money laundering before Supreme Court Judge Justice Lorna Shelley Williams in downtown Kingston. Gordon, who was employed to the bank for approximately 30 years, was at the time of her arrest and charge the manager at the bank's operations center at 29 Trafalgar Road in Kingston. The last recorded salary for Gordon was in the amount of just over $11.1 million annually. According to the allegations outlined before the court, internal investigations were sparked after information received revealed that Gordon's assigned password had been used to access the bank's system and several transactions posted, which constituted a breach of the bank's policies. The transactions, which appeared to be fraudulent, saw funds from the bank's internal accounts being posted to Gordon's account as well as accounts belonging to relatives and other customers. Investigations revealed, according to the allegations before the court, that Gordon posted approximately 282 suspicious transactions totaling over $111 million. dollars. The transactions were done between February 2017 and May 2020. She was, however, indicted only for $34 million.
Member of Parliament Lisa Hanna has broken her long silence to chastise members of her party whom she accused of bullying and salacious accusations against her. Hanna, the PNP spokeswoman for Foreign Affairs and former Treasury, used her Twitter account Saturday to urge her party colleagues to desist from the daily attacks on her, declaring that they would not frighten her away from the PNP. She said, over the years, the bullying and daily salacious accusations being hurled at me by some members within my party to use my name to create public mischief have become commonplace. I have ignored these sorts of propaganda in the past in an effort to protect the PNP from any public imbroglio which could cause irreparable damage to our proud history of comrade civility. She went on to say, I've now come to realize that my public silence over the years has been perceived by some as consent and acceptance of the labels attached to my work ethic, she posted. Anna did not name names or point to any specific instance of the attacks on her. But the Jamaica Observer has letters to the editorial and social media posts which, among other things, linked her to Karen Cross, the PNP member whose accusations have plunged General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell into a blistering sex scandal involving underage girls. Supporters, including myself, in the street are asking the PNP not to ask Dr. Dayton Campbell to step aside. We know it is from Dr. Peter Phillips, Lisa Anna, and her surrogates fabricating things for their personal agenda and power, claimed one letter writer using the name Howard Miller. Another wrote, Lisa is to be held responsible for Karen Cross behavior and her other supporters of the People's National Party. If Lisa loves the People's National Party and her supporters, she would tell them to desist from what they are doing. A third letter writer calling himself Henry Miller wrote, Lisa has no intention for peace in the party, for it seems like some people are advising her. The same lunatics that ill-advised Peter Phillips are the same ones advising her now. Indeed, if she listens to these abstract failures, she is doomed. They doomed Mr. Phillips, and they are about to doom her.
It has been 3 years since her two sons were killed by rival gangsters in April 2018, but Janice Solomon, a resident of the battle-torn community of Salt Spring in St. James, still weeps for her boys as if it were yesterday. While admitting that her sons were no angels, she said their deaths still hurt, and she's appealing to parents in inner-city communities to do more to protect their children from being recruited into gangs. Quote, I would like the crime and violence to stop. It is hard when you do not have options, unquote, said the 53-year-old domestic assistant who also does odd jobs to make ends meet. Quote, I have been through a whole heap of situations, and it's by the help of family and the grace of God why I am still standing, unquote. Her son, Demain Samuels, a key figure in the notorious Unknown Gang, which has been embroiled in a deadly feud with the G-City Gang, was killed in St. Mary by rivals. He was 30 years old. At the time of his death, Demain was before the courts on charges of murder, illegal possession of firearm, and shooting with intent, and was ordered to relocate from Salt Spring as a condition of his bail. 4 days later, her younger son, Ron Samuels, who was affiliated with the Wrong Turn, Unknown, and Supermarket gangs, was killed in Costa Rica, where police said he fled to avoid their dragnet. Ron, who was 27 when he died, had been listed among St. James's most wanted in 2015 for murder. Quote, I don't know if they killed anybody. The whole of them used to be friends, and I don't know what they did that night, unquote, Solomon told the Gleaner. Quote, I have forgiven the persons responsible for their deaths. It's very painful, but I can't continue hating people all the days of my life, and there are always consequences for a certain life, unquote. However, Heroy Clark, the Member of Parliament for St. James Central, has mooted a plan starting with the students of Salt Spring Primary and Infant School that he hopes will steer at-risk children from a life of crime. He believes that education and skills training are the cure. An initiative called Save the Boy has been introduced for boys 9 years and older, the stage when many children start to drift away from school, the Member of Parliament said. The initiative is being undertaken in collaboration with corporate sponsors and seeks to shepherd each boy into secondary school with additional tutoring support for mathematics and English. Clark's assessment of the failings bedeviling the education sector is damning. Quote, so what we have had is like a nursery for misdemeanors and other negative things, and this must now come to an end, unquote, he told the Gleaner. Clark also expressed concern that a number of residents have been sending their children to schools outside the community, a situation that he hopes to change with the help of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. Quote, we find that because of the stigma that is attached to the community, parents go at lengths to send their children out of the community to different institutions. We want to bring back Salt Spring to a point that residents will feel comfortable to have their kids going to their schools within the community, which will make it a little bit cheaper for the students and less hassle for the parents, unquote, the MP said. For Norma Brightson, who was appointed principal of Salt Spring Primary and Infants in 2018, the signs are encouraging. Bryden said that the reputation of Salt Spring from newscasts and reports made her scared initially, but she disclosed that she has been pleasantly surprised. Quote, my students are quite different from the previous school that I came from. They are not violent, and I thought they would be, unquote, she said. I was looking to see every other person walking with a gun, but I have not experienced the impact of gang-related wars.
Jamaican Sashana Perkins has beaten off the challenge of 40 other hopefuls to win a coveted full £20,000 scholarship to study at Swansea University in the United Kingdom, the institution has announced. The scholarship for the Master in Business Administration, the MBA, was introduced to reward an individual that showed the biggest potential in becoming a progressive and innovative future leader, Swansea University said. It's noted that while the applicants were exceptional, Perkins, a St. Andrew native, stood out with her unique creative application, which clearly outlined how she would use her MBA to benefit the community in which she grew up. Sashana hopes to become a chief executive officer in the communication sector and is certain the MBA will support her in reaching her goals. She said, I am so proud to have received the full scholarship to study the MBA at Swansea University. The university really stood out to me as an institution dedicated to developing sustainable and people-centric leaders, she commented. Prior to applying, she worked in the International Business Department at Digicel Group, managing messaging, adapting to the digital world, and encouraging digital transformation to ensure business longevity. MBA Program Director Dr. Paul Davis said, Sashana shows great promise as a business leader and has already demonstrated her drive and passion for sustainable business success.
This has been keeping you in the know with news, happenings, and facts, brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant. Stop by. Say you heard it here on the show Inside the Zone with Lady D, Denise Gomez. Give them a call, 718-652-3288. That is 718-652-3288. Good afternoon, everyone. 28 minutes now after 6 o'clock. And, of course, the lines are now opened to you. There are headlines we presented, and I'm sure they piqued your interest. We would love to hear from you. And coming up in a few minutes, we have the segment Community Life. And you know, in Community Life, real stories of people's experiences, culture, issues, and concerns as we see them. Our question this afternoon: should Jamaica abolish the present height requirements to attract men and women to join the security forces in light of the escalating crime wave and the call for increased security personnel within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF? And I am looking forward to talking about this topic this afternoon for a lot of reasons, because certainly Mr. Wilby has his intro, which has always been a back office story to to start off the segment. But of course, with regards to the headline that you read about the Jamaican who copped the $4 million in scholarships to Swansea, this is quite an achievement. Quite an achievement, and we laud her. Yes, we laud her for her efforts, her dedication. These things don't just come like that, you know. People work hard to achieve. People work hard, and when they work so hard and people covet them for it, or they are not recognized for the hard work that they put in, it can also be a very daunting feeling. But she has excelled, and we commend her. Also, the plea that is made by the parent of the two boys who found themselves into, you know, gang-related activities and so on, and now she's making an appeal, you know, for parents to really pay attention to their children. Because yes, I'm telling you, when I was growing up, you were growing up, and we have to be so realistic that when we were growing up, things have changed. So now, if you are not paying attention to your 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old, by the time they turn 9, Chris, they would have already had some kind of an encounter and an exchange with someone trying to steer them in that path, believe it or not. If we send them to the shop, if we send them to the corner store, right? There are people hanging out, waiting, literally baiting your children to have a conversation. And usually, you and I know that it starts with a "welcome" or "how are you" or "where you going." You know, they don't just attack them right away.
Yeah.
They build relationships with these children. And so here you have this mother pleading. You know, she acknowledged the fact that, you know, you can't be around your children all the time. And yes, he was involved in stuff, or they were, because it's two children.
You can only, as parents, you can only do so much, you know, for your children. But ultimately, they are going to chart their own course. You know, they're going to choose their own path. So, unfortunately, it is just the way of the world.
Yes.
You know, you try to discipline them, you try to teach them, because I am quite sure that most parents do not want to see their children fail. They do not want to see their children in bad company. They do not want to see their children doing wrong. You know, so it is just heartbreaking when you hear of these stories. And we often talk about how, you know, the women will know that their their children are doing things and they put up with it. But sometimes we have to go a little bit further than that. You know, if we are of any form of humanity, we have to also understand that these are the women who brought these children into the world, you know, and so sometimes they find themselves in a very, very difficult situation, because sometimes they behind the scenes, of course, they're talking to them and they're, you know, trying to encourage them to do better and change or whatever. But outside of that, you know, they put on a different face, because sometimes it is also shame. And, you know, they want to take the shame out of their eyes. So they pretend as if their son, you know, their sons are innocent and whatnot. So it's a difficult situation, Lady G.
It runs deep, and I agree with you. It becomes more troubling, however, if they knowingly are aware of some of the really hard murders that they're committing and do nothing. You know, so again, yes, they're caught into a what we call it, 22 situation. I got all the way to 50. Yeah. But yes, it's really disheartening. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome. It's now time for Community Live. Real stories of people's experiences, culture, issues, and concerns as we see them. Our telephone lines are open, 914-600-4228, 914-600-4228. We would love to hear from you. Our question this afternoon: should Jamaica abolish the present height requirements to attract men and women to join the security forces in light of the escalating crime wave and the call for increased security personnel within the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF? Now, we thought of this, and all because Chris Wilby himself, he has, you know, a story to share. And so we would like to start off with your experience, Chris, to build our conversation this afternoon.
Okay. Thank you very much, Lady D. I'm going to read this story here, and then I can elaborate a little bit. Disappointment was etched on the faces of scores of recruits who showed up for the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF enlistment drive, but were turned away last Saturday because they did not meet the height or qualification requirements. However, head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit, Stephanie Lindsay, said, as it relates to the height and weight criteria, if persons believe they have a case, they can write for a consideration for a waiver. They have an option to apply to the Commissioner of Police seeking a waiver. The only thing they will consider for the waiver is just the height and weight. When it comes to the qualification standard, there is no waiver on that. As it relates to the city and guilds for English language, they will accept city and guilds. But what they said is that the city and guilds has 4 components: writing, reading, speaking, and listening. So that makes it a complete test. So they say they will find is that some persons will just have parts of it. And it went on to say all applicants must have a minimum of 4 Caribbean secondary education certificates, which must include English language. Male applicants must be at least 5 feet 7 inches in height, with a minimum weight of 135 pounds. For females, they must be at least 5 feet 5 inches and weigh at least 125 pounds. Okay, Lady D.
Okay.
Now,
and we must point out, Chris, we must point out that the article you made reference to was dated in January of last year.
Right. Yes. Sorry about that. Yes. And I have a story. Even there was a recent recruitment drive. Even though this article was from last year, there was a recent recruitment drive, and there were similar incidents of people showing up, leaving disappointed because some of them had everything else, but they were too short. They did not meet the height requirement. And I myself, I totally understand where these people are coming from, because I myself wanted to be a part of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, but I was deemed too short. So the question is, where did this come from? Why are we discriminating against otherwise qualified people because of their height? And I did some research. It is coming from the colonial masters. It is coming from England. England also had the same issue until they were sued and they had to abolish the height requirement. So until a few years ago, England had the same height requirement. And as a matter of fact, England, it was 5'8". You had to be at least 5'8" to be considered, if you're a male, it's 5'8". If you are a female, it would be 5'5". And so that's where it came from, down to Jamaica. So we are asking the question, in light of the crime situation and the Jamaica Constabulary Force trying to meet a deadline for recruitment of more officers, we are quite sure that they're not going to meet the requirement. The deadline. They're not going to meet the quota that they're looking for. Should they just abolish that?
Like other countries across the world, there are also requirements for height, weight, body mass or body index. And so even though we were handed down these instructions that we have to follow, there are other countries that have to adhere to their own height, weight, etc. The height requirement, I am not sure, to be honest with you, if it stems from, so I'm just speaking now from, my own layman reasoning. I don't know if it has to do with, they believe, the lack of someone of a shorter stature to be able to manage certain encounters, because for most of what they do, unless you are in a supervisory role or you are working at the desk, it's a lot of physical activity that takes place. And so I don't know if they took that into consideration, that maybe these people can't really manage because of their height, depending on what they have to do. Now, I think that would be a form of prejudice, because you do have people of a shorter stature who are able to perform just the same way. But now this has been coming up to the fore, because we realize, and when you and I are having a conversation, Chris, we are saying, oh, we don't have enough manpower to be policing the communities across the island. And if people are showing up, they're qualified with their CXCs, etc., and they're qualified, in other areas, because I even found a clip here, where you have teachers who signed up for the police force, who are now in the police force. You have lawyers who have signed up and are now as police officers in the police force. So it's not for the lack of credentials, academic credentials, to make you eligible. But there is something about the height. And if they're going to now look at it carefully, it would benefit, I believe, the force, the nation at large, if they take it up a notch, even say to 5'9", because 5'9", people accept 5'9" for pretty much anything. Even if they say 5'9", yeah.
The height requirement right now is 5'7".
Right.
For men.
For men. And how much for women?
I'd have to go back and check. I think it's 5'5". Right, it's 5'5" for women and 5'7" for men.
Right. So if they were to say, well, 5'9".
So you would go. So you would be increasing the height requirement.
Yes.
So you want them to increase it?
Well, I mean, if they think you're too short, then you need to be a little taller.
No, but that is a problem that they are having now. So they would make it more difficult for people to.
I don't know
to
if
join
they,
the police force.
I don't know if they want to just open it up like that. Let's talk to someone on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lady D.
Hello there, Miss Gloria.
Good afternoon,
Hi, Gloria.
Mr. Willoughby.
How are you?
Yes, I am here. Since they're having this problem, don't they send them out in twos? Send a person who meet the requirements with the one that doesn't. Because I think that's how they do it over here in America.
Yeah.
You send them out by twos.
In America, there is no height requirement for the police.
Right. So if
nor
we are
the-
in
nor
such
the
a
army.
desperate position,
Neither
send
the
them
police
in
force nor the
twos.
army.
Send them in tools that the other one can, if they need help, because most times you hear that if anything affect, get difficult with one policeman here, they call for the partner. Send them out with somebody who is a little taller than them, that they have somebody there. Because we are in a difficult position.
So
I have a difficulty, Gloria. I have a difficulty with people, and I'm defending short people right now. I have a difficulty with people pretending as if short people are handicapped. I'm very serious about that, because when you talk about it like that, it sounds as if if you are 5'6", you can handle yourself, but if you are 5'5", you can't handle yourself. And I don't
all right,
see
I'm going to give you,
with one inch or half an inch difference, for that matter, it is nothing more than just discrimination.
Yes, but I'll give you the makeup, because I have 5'8", so I'll give you the 2. All right, there's a lady there that wrote about the vice president. And I think the most important thing should be on our tongue is the people who lost their life, yes. But maybe because we were cooped up so long, that should be the first thing on our tongue. But the thought of getting out, that's why she did the statement like that, long weekend. I think it's that. Everybody praying for to get out, to run out. So
it's a do about nothing.
Yes, I think so.
Nobody's really taking her seriously.
Not at all.
All right, this mother now about the children. I really think when we were growing up, it takes the community to raise a child. And I think because of everybody paying attention to themselves or something else, because if you were going somewhere and night coming down, they would say, "Oh, this, where you going, Mister Child, or where you going, or whatever." They would take care of you. So maybe this mother is a single mother who lost her two sons, and it sounds very, oh boy, it's very distressing because she lost both of them. And I don't know if she's a single parent. Maybe she was trying. I think every parent have to try to steer them in the right direction. But sometimes it's too much on one parent if you have to work and take care of them because you can't see what they're doing or know where they're going 24/7. That's my take.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Gloria.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And get home safe, and thanks as usual.
All
Have
right.
a blessed.
All right. God bless.
Thank
bless
you.
Bless you.
Okay. All right. Now, my cousin in London says that she would meet the height. She wouldn't meet the height requirement. I would be considered vertically challenged.
I like that.
Marlo.
I love that.
But seriously, I understand what you're saying, Marlo. I understand what you're saying, Chris, that they should just not have an age restriction, a weight restriction.
A height restriction.
Right.
Because when you think about it, all right. So now the shortest person, I find that article in the UK, the force in the UK is, I think, under 4 feet right now.
Yeah.
And when you talk about policing, there are many, many different aspects of policing. But a lot of people, when we talk about policing, we think of police going out to apprehend people and throwing them down on the ground and
Right.
and how difficult that is. That's not the
That is
only
not it.
aspect of policing, and that is where everybody is, including the people who made these rules. That is how they are thinking about policing. That shouldn't be how you think about policing. Policing should be to protect and serve. You have community policing and all of that. You know what I mean? There are many, many different aspects. And even now in the 21st century, we should be looking at means and ways of reaching the community so that you don't have to have that combative interaction. Everybody is militarizing and over-militarizing the police force. Back in the day, you used to have in Jamaica, you used to have the district constable that never used to carry guns.
I remember
they
that.
used to be in the area.
I remember Mr.
Yeah, they used
What
to be
was
in
our
the area.
discuss constable again? Oh God, a tall gentleman, and he never carried one.
Right.
I got you. I hear you. So, because there was also a call, an appeal made out of the Westmoreland Chamber, and they were asking for more security personnel because of the crime wave. So it's not that they're not hearing, it's just because they are adhering to what they have documented.
Right.
So they need to go back to it.
But exactly, they need to go back
Yes,
to the drawing board
I'm
and
with
find
you.
out why is it that we are look at the population that you have. What is the average height? Most Jamaicans are not tall. Most Jamaican men are average height. You know what I mean? So you have to look at the population that you have. And out of that population, why are you discriminating against, half of the population? Because once you put that height requirement at that level, you are now you're eliminating from the start.
Yeah.
You're eliminating about half of the population
Yeah.
in the country.
But
how
even
are you
with
expecting to meet your quota? You just can't.
But then, the matter of the waiver comes in because, fine, I know I'm already short, I don't meet it, but I show up for the test and recruitment anyway. How does that work? If I know that they say I'm not eligible. Why am I going?
Exactly. You know,
So that part
it's a
of,
waste of time.
yes, it is a waste of time. They say you
Yeah,
don't
it's a waste of
fit.
time.
If I know I'm only 5'3", I have a short torso and longer legs. Most people don't even realize I'm 5'3". Up to when I measure, I'm still 5'3". But I wear heels a lot, and because I have longer legs and short torso, I seem tall. When I take off my shoe and drop down, you realize, oh, but you're not that height. So if I know I'm 5'3", where am I going? Because now I'm going to pressure the system about waiver, to grant me waiver, because
And how many people are they going to grant waiver?
there you go.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
There
it's
you
just
go.
not. It's just not possible to
so
grant
there
all
is-
these
there
people
is-
who are showing up for waivers.
So there is that flip side, which is why
So,
they
yeah,
really
so
need
which-
to look
which-
at it. They really need to look at it.
And
I
I think
take
they,
you.
I think they're hearing the cries, and but a lot of these institutions change is hard for them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're set in their ways, and they just don't want to accept change for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of the old guards, some of it is personal, because some of them look at it and say, me did have to go through this.
Yeah.
So what make the, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
So if me never get the benefit of whatever, me did have, you know, these kinds of attitudes.
And
a
again,
lot of them have,
it takes us back to, you know, that kind of ownership. I had to bust my shot to get in, but now they're changing it. You're talking about years later. And in anything, if you are not reevaluating any system that is in place at any given time, no matter how long or short, you keep reevaluating, because you realize that you have to start tailoring to fit. As you said, they need to look at the people, the height of the men and women they have, and to say, fine, this is not working anymore. So I'm with you, because failing that, you will never have numbers increasing for enrollment into the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You're not going to have it, because half of the people don't qualify by way of height. Yeah.
They've been running at a deficit for as long as I can remember.
Oh, yes.
And majority of it is because of the height requirement.
Yes, I'm one of my parishine and community party and friend, Judith. Judith is asking me if I'm referring to Mr. Dobson. Yes, he was our constable in our community. He was tall man, and he never carried a weapon. But Mr. Dobson was no stupid either. He was quite informed. We used to find, you know, when you're young and don't know anything, you think because he doesn't carry a weapon, he didn't have any clout, pretty much. Because, you know, we see the weapon as one with that kind of authority. But he really was no dodo. He wasn't a foolish man. Let's take a quick call, because we're wrapping up in a few minutes. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Lady Deals. This is the one Hortense, you know.
The one and only.
Hortense.
The one and only.
Yes.
What you mean, the one Hortense? The one and only Hortense.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
2 minutes, Hortense.
Yes. With that lady and her two sons, 130-year-old and 127. Almighty Christ. Yes, you can be around them 24/7. They have a mind of their own. You teach them this and they go over the next side. You understand?
Yes.
They go on to the next side.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
thief up the how much million and give it in family and in friend them and so. Damn thief.
Yes, ma'am.
Christ.
Yes.
Almighty boy, no. Me I tell you.
And she forgot.
Oh, God.
She totally forgot that once you have your passcode and you start accessing it outside of regular working hours,
Hours.
you're gonna
Suspicious.
put yourself, yes.
Suspicious. And they went take a prayer. The auditor is there. What you think? What you think? I used to work in Pitnam Park, thermoplastic. You hear about thermoplastic?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And this time I used to work before me come America.
Okay.
Here as a office helper. And I know about the auditor. When the auditor then come in and the brinksman then come in at Thursday daytime with the money to pay. If it anywhere they hear them. Oh, leave it, leave it. Leave it, see your man, them a come here. And I carry them in and go take out the money and then something. The whole heap of them something they used to do. So me know about that she's a thief.
Yes, ma'am. So the court
People
has
them money.
found her guilty.
Yes, yes.
And
we the one with him, the executed
Yes.
one. Oh God, Jesus Christ! Why? Sometimes some things happen. Oh my God!
I know. It was very unfortunate.
On the my God, these people. Oh
But
God.
we have 1 minute to go, Hortense. So, you know how we go. We have to love you and leave you, but always your keen sense of
All right, thanks, Hortense.
hearing and, Thank you, my love.
I listen to you every time I get the chance.
Yes, ma'am.
Pedro don't come up and link it. No time at all. 24/7.
Yes, please. Good to hear you, my love.
Yeah, right.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the Memorial Day.
Okay.
All right, lovey.
All right.
Bye-bye. Yes,
Right,
yes.
baby.
Okay.
All right, Lady D. It is now 7 o'clock. Thank you once again. And we'll be back here next week to do it all over again. Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had quite the show this evening, keeping you in the know with news happenings and facts. And that's how we wrap it up with Inside the Zone with Lady D today. I am looking forward to being back on Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. And I'm hoping to have a really good lineup for you. As I mentioned when I was here on Thursday last, that the segment I had with the children wrapped up the Child Month feature that I had. But certainly at some point I will have other children back for some other reason. Because, I find that, the more you talk to children and you make them visible, it's the more you learn about them and realize they're onto something of their own. And I love that. I love that. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope I caused you to just think about food and you had a great time with the music this afternoon, because of course I had my collab, I had my collaborative segments going on, played selections with some artists who collaborated with each other. And of course, that's how I'm going to wrap up once again, taking it to you on a Monday. Heading home now, going to relax and prep for tomorrow to get back to my regular job. So blessings, everyone. As always, thanks to Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Also, thanks to Unity Gospel Radio for airing our broadcast down there in Sunrise, Florida, and to CaribbeanVibesRadio.com, courtesy of Chris Wilby, as well as Spice International Gospel Network, that's Sign FM 88.9 in the Bronx. My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez. As always, love yourselves, love your children, and remember, in everything you do, it is the will of God concerning your life. A lot of love and blessings to my YouTubers. Thank you so much. Stafford, blessings to you. Judith, it was so nice to see you today, Judith, and to Pat and to Marlo all the way over there in London. and also to Princess and to Ryan. And, you know, we thank you all for just stopping by to keep our company here this evening. Blessings, everyone. Gotta go.
Station. Number one radio station.
They play the best music.
Number one. Best music for your listening pleasure.
There are radio stations within the ear, but to this, none can compare. Trying to figure what to think, because now with us, you're fully linked. Stay linked to Linkage Radio, your home for entertainment.
This station